I'm Juan Cruz Baldassarre. I'm with Copernicus Studios. We're based in Halifax. I am one of the founding partners. I guess I carry the title of a CEO, which means whatever goes wrong is my fault and whatever happens great, I didn't know anything about it. Copernicus is essentially a TV animation studio, which means we mostly do content for children, which is the focus here where we are at a GDC or any gaming convention. We're looking at children's content.
Okay, can you talk me about the history of your company?
Oh yeah, so how do we get started? Somewhere around the year 2002 or 2003, we were doing lots and lots of Flash for what was then known as e-learning. And still at that time, computers weren't being used really for television animation. We actually had to convince people to use Flash and After Effects. That's what we started to do. We started using Flash and After Effects, which is now common wisdom, but when we started, it was like a big revelation. And thankfully, we were able to put together a whole bunch of contracts since we started, and things have been, you know, up and down like most of this entertainment business, but doing really well, turning 10 years next year. But essentially, we are four friends who are animators and visual effects artists who decided to become business owners, I guess. That type of studio.
Okay. What's the philosophy, the concept, what distinguishes you from the other companies?
Well, I think that's one of the things. There are a few, I would say there's a handful, even in Canada, of studios owned by, say, the artist. Many studios you have out there are some TV executive or an accountant or lawyer who starts a company, which is, of course, great. But I think that's one of the things that set us apart. People really like working with us because they feel the guys signing the paychecks really understand whether they did a good job or a bad job, and it's usually a really good atmosphere within the studio. And most guys are friends with each other and go out and party and so forth, which I know is not necessarily the rule in most studios. For us, the difference is that we care about the final quality more than the client or the broadcaster or the publisher does, because we just can't help ourselves and we're not thinking as much as cost, but we think about quality. That's everything to us. So yeah, I think that's one of our things.
Okay. And when you say you are going towards video games, what kind of video games?
Our focus for video games would be, again, with children. We just love doing stuff for kids. Yeah, I always like saying, when I was little, I always liked watching cartoons. I wanted to do that all day, and that's kind of what I do now, watch cartoons all day for a living. But yeah, that's our focus. We just came from conference from Carla, some fantastic last name you should research. It was creative, interactive content for children. And one of the things she mentioned is how at GDC, it's like her and some other person doing these kind of talks, that there seems to be no focus on children's content, which is a little crazy, I guess, that there is like pretty much nil amount of content for children's stuff. And that is what we're after. So hopefully it's a relatively poachable market. And again, is what we like doing. So there better be business there. I think we have a bunch of really great companies in Halifax, and there are a number of again, artist or programmer-owned businesses. Most of us describe ourselves as boutique developers and boutique studios, which usually leads to that, you know, for more ambitious gameplay and higher quality of a final product. There's a lot of people spinning the idea that everything will be becoming a game, and I do like that. I do think that the games may become something that, what's the right word? It's something like involuntary. You know, like again, like Facebook could suddenly be accumulating points, and you know, how many times you speak with this or that person, and how many family points you have, depending on how much time you spend speaking with your family, and how many local city points you have because how many people you talk in your city or how international you are. That's just putting it all around Facebook. But again, I like that idea that games are becoming like an involuntary, natural thing that happens every day. But yeah, other than that, I do think that something that actually we're way past already is the idea that there is not I'm a gamer and you're not a gamer. It really feels like everybody's a gamer. I think we already are there, and it's like, oh, I'm a TV watcher. I heard, I forget who said that, was pretty clever. Like, nobody makes that distinction anymore, And I think we're pretty much already there, and soon enough, that's what it's going to be. Like, being a gamer is pretty much like, again, being that TV watcher. I like that analogy.